Hey, women of welcome. I'm really hoping you got our policy dispatch in your email inbox this morning and that you clicked to read it, or that you plan to today, because it is chock full of the top things bubbling to the surface about public policies that are affecting immigrant and refugee neighbors in your community and across the country. The biggest things we are paying attention to right now is what is happening to Haitians and Syrians with temporary protected status, and also what is happening with unaccompanied minors. So it's a really important read, and if you don't have that in your inbox, go to womenofwelcome.com, scroll to the bottom, and click to receive it. Today we're going to talk about temporary protected status and what is happening with our Haitian brothers and sisters. So yesterday we posted an explainer, a carousel about what is temporary protected status and why do Haitians have temporary protected status. Syrians also had that. For Syrians, it just recently expired. For Haitians, it expired on Monday. Temporary protected status, just very quickly, is a humanitarian protection that the United States government grants to people who cannot return safely to their home countries because of war, natural disasters, or other extraordinary conditions. And Haitians have been through the ringer. That country has, for the last 15 years, seen tragedy unfold after tragedy unfold on a consistent and constant basis. So Haitians, we have over 300,000 Haitians under TPS status, which is a legal humanitarian status that allows them to work and live in this country. And that expired on Monday. Just recently, the Supreme Court made a decision that allowed the president the ability to terminate TPS whenever it deemed necessary. So when someone loses TPS status, when it's either terminated or not renewed, those that had that legally protected status lose their work authorization and are considered undocumented immigrants, putting them on notice to either be repatriated or face deportation proceedings. And so that is what Syrians and Haitians who were under that legal protection are now facing. Now, before we get into what you can do, and there are some things that you can do and what we need, I want to address probably what some of the pushback that you might be hearing could be about any of the expired or expiring TPS statuses that are out there for certain populations of people. Temporary protected status is meant to be just that. It's meant to be temporary. The question we have to ask ourselves anytime we see an expiration about to unfold for a certain population of people is, are the conditions that allowed them to be granted TPS still in existence? Have they dissipated? Have conditions gotten worse? And what we know about Haiti is that it is still under extreme distress, and it's not a safe place to send people back to at this time. So in short, if the conditions that gave them the status still exist, the status should still be extended and we should not be sending people back. So that's what we have to take into consideration. That's a good question we need to ask ourselves. Do the conditions that gave them protection in the first place still exist? Or have they gotten better? And they have not gotten better in Haiti. So let's revisit why Haitians were given TPS in the first place. I don't know if you remember, back in 2010, there was a 7.0 earthquake that killed over 200,000 people in Haiti. And humanitarian aid groups rushed into the country, and there was a cholera outbreak that killed about 10,000 people. It was accidentally introduced to the population and to the nation. And then there just was continued violent political and civil unrest. In 2016, there were 200,000 people that were left without a home after a hurricane hit the nation. There was a presidential assassination followed by another 7.2 earthquake. I'm reading a list here. It's like in 2023, estimates suggested that 80% of Port-au-Prince was under gang control. In 2025, so, just last year, right, recorded by the UN, it was the most violent year in Haiti's history, forcing 700,000 people to flee the country. And currently, I don't know if you know this or not, but currently the US government has a no travel warning for all Americans. And we're barring all US commercial jets and planes from flying in and out of that airport. So the conditions are really horrific and really dire in Haiti. So what can you do about this? We've got over 300,000 Haitians, and I think it's 6,000 Syrians who are in a different, state of distress about the decisions they're going to be having to make as well. But for the Haitian population, which is what we're talking about today, what are the things that we can do? What is happening? Is anyone advocating for this? I mean, Haitians have been contributing valuable community members and congregant members in various states across the country. They're a vital part, huge percentage of healthcare and elder care industries. And it would be devastating to see these contributors sent back to these kind of conditions in their home country. So I was just on a call with some policy friends in Capitol Hill, and I just said, what's everybody talking about? What's everyone doing? And they said, no one's really talking about it. Everyone's busy with all kinds of other things. It's like the SAVE Act and the Iran war and all these other things. And there's just not an urgency on Capitol Hill about passing what has already been presented to the Senate, which is a bill called SB 4814. There's just been no energy and there's just been no urgency about it. So this is where you come in. A few months ago, the House passed a bill that now is sitting and waiting for attention in the Senate. And the bill right now is SB 4814. And this is where you are needed. We need to draw attention to the plight of our Haitian brothers and sisters. And nothing is going to change. Nobody is going to start to be automatically just kind of thinking about it in the midst of all the other things that Congress is doing right now, unless the phones start ringing off the hook, unless the email inboxes get full, unless the interns and staffers are saying, hey, we're getting a lot of calls about taking up SB 4814 for Haitians. So this is what we need you to do. If you comment protect below in the comments, we're going to send you to our advocacy page. That's going to give you a letter to sign on to with World Relief that they are presenting and continually kicking up to legislative advocates in DC. And then there's also going to be a call to action. It's going to give you a script. It's going to help you have an understanding of what is all the information so that you can call and advocate for this to be top of line, top of mind in the Senate. And it needs to be passed right away before they go on recess or before they get out of town. We need them to start securing protections and extend legal status for Haitians. And I will tell you why. What we know from recent DHS memos is that there is a plan to have heightened and prioritized deportation enforcement against the Haitian community and against Syrians starting this week. We're already seeing that happening. So these aren't the worst of the worst. These aren't people who are here undocumented. These aren't people who have illegally crossed a border. These are people who are given a legal protected status and have been living and contributing, some of them for over a decade, in our communities. And now, because they are low-hanging fruit and they do not have status anymore, they're considered undocumented since that expired on Monday, they are going to be targeted for prioritization of immigration enforcement. This is why your voice is needed. So we need you to make those calls. We need you to send those emails. We need you to sign this sign-on letter for World Relief to have more of a groundswell of people who are saying and raising their hand, I care about these Haitian neighbors, and they shouldn't be sent back to Haiti, not while the conditions that brought them here or gave them protection still exist. So comment protect in the comments below, and we'll click you over. We'll DM you our advocacy one-pager on our website so that you have all the script and all the language to take action and speak up for your Haitian immigrant neighbors. Thanks.